Hey guys, welcome to the shop. So today we're going to be doing something a little different. If you read the headline, you know we're going to be doing a brake job on a 2018 Chrysler. Normally we're chainsaw carving, we're making furniture, we're doing some power carving on the bench. But honestly, I got to make this video because I just couldn't find one to cover everything I needed to know all in one video to get this job done. So if you're looking to change the brakes and the rotors on your 2018 Chrysler Pacifica, then this is the video for you, so don't go anywhere. Alright guys, thanks for coming to the channel. As you can see, I'm a woodworker. I'm not a professional mechanic, I'm a driveway mechanic. I put my vehicle on blocks or whatever I got to do to get it up a little bit, climb underneath it, do the work, change the oil, you know, whatever, change my filters, do my brakes, whatever it may be. If I can do it in my driveway with some wrenches and it's fairly simple job, fairly simple task, then I do what I can do to get it done. Why? I like the satisfaction of doing it, and it saves me a bunch of money not having to take it to a mechanic. This is a job I haven't done prior to this video, so it's kind of, you know, jump on YouTube like all of you were doing and look it up, right? Well, when I got on YouTube, I could not find a front brake job for the Pacifica for a 2018. Everything was to do the rear brakes. Are they similar and probably the same? Yeah, but when you search, you want to find something specific, right? So I've already done the driver's side. And what I've done is reset everything, because you have to actually get in the car and do a few things prior to anything else. I've already reset everything. I'm going to walk you guys through all the steps, tools you're going to need, and how we're going to get this job done. So be sure to stick around. All right guys, we're in the driveway. This is the wife's 2018 Chrysler Pacifica. As you can see, it is a gravel driveway. There's no frills here, nothing special. I've already blocked the rear tire, and the reason for that is we've got to turn the parking brake off. Now, by watching separate videos, I found out this has an electronic parking brake. All right, so what that means is we got to get in the car. The keys are in here, don't mind the mess, and we need to just hit the start button. Don't push any brakes in or nothing. I'm not super familiar with this because I don't drive her car very often. So we hit that and our screen has come up, right? So we want to go to, where do we want to go? Controls, settings. Scroll down until you see brakes. Brakes. That means push the button again, but not the pedal. See, so everything came on. Hear it dinging. So we're gonna hit brakes again. And brake service. Would you like to retract parking brakes to allow for brake system service? Yes. So now we'll wait a second. And there's a reason for this. According to the videos I've watched, the parking brake will continually come on and off, even though the vehicle is off. You don't want that to happen while you're working on it. That could just, you know, really monkey up your whole day. So, parking brake retracted. To reset, press brake pedal and activate parking brake switch. When we are done with the brake job, we will come back in and set everything up. That's for our cell phone, but we'll come back in and we'll take it all off. So let's head outside and start getting to work. Oh yeah, one other thing. I just turned the car back off, so everything is off. Forgot to mention that. So now let's go outside and get to work. All right guys, we're out here on the passenger side. Like I said earlier, driver's side is done. I'm gonna try and do this without air because not everybody has an air compressor. So what do we need? Rotors, brakes, 3 or 4 pound sledge, a couple pry bars or a flathead screwdrivers will work. You need a 13, a 19, and a 21 millimeter socket. You need all 3 of those. You need a socket wrench to fit. A torque wrench is a good idea to have. We've got some never seize nickel anti-seize for the bolts we take out. We've got this fun little thing, whatever it's called, it's for doing brake jobs. I use a couple bungee cords, a block of wood, some brake parts cleaner, bristle brush. What else? A jack stand, And here, this is what the passenger side brakes looked like. Okay, toast. This is the inside of the rotor. Now remind you, right now it's 2020, and this is a 2018. We haven't had it very long. Shot. Now this could be a caliper problem. The calipers might be hanging up or not working properly, but I'm not doing that job today. We'll see how these look in a few months and see if that's something I need to address. Which it probably is, but... So check this out, right? This, the one on the right was the outside brake pad. The one on the left was the inside brake pad. Pretty big difference there. So let's set the camera up and start getting these lugs off. The first thing we're gonna do is loosen up our lug nuts. It takes a 19mm socket. If you got a breaker bar or an impact gun, go for it. But like I said, I'm not gonna use air. I'll just use regular tools that everybody probably has. Now, I will give the jack a couple pumps to take some weight off the tires. I do not want the tire completely off the ground though. Let's get these all loose. Okay, get everything jacked up all the way. You guys can see the tire move. I'm gonna slip my jack stand underneath. Now there is a pinch weld here, okay? See where my jack is? There's an arrow here in the trim. That's where the jack goes to lift. I'm going to align the jack stand up with the pinch weld and get that under here so it's ready to go. Now I can't put the jack stand where the jack is, but I'll leave the jack in the air, leave the jack stand there, and have it as a safety in case the jack gives out. So a jack stand is something you should definitely have. Again, if you follow my directions to do this, you do so at your own risk. I am not a professional mechanic, just a guy working on his own stuff. All right, so our tire's off. This rotor on the outside looks pretty good, but I can feel it on the inside. It is about shot like the other one. Here is the front view. We took the tire off. You're coming in this way. That means the bumper's over there. The back of the car's that way. See it? So we're coming in so you guys can see the back side of the caliper. Now there's two bolts we got to take out first. This one and this one up here. These are 13mm. So that's what we're going to do here, is take those out. Sometimes just a quick hit is all it needs. Remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. There you go. This is all they look like. Really small, right? They're not very big. Next thing we got to do is get our 21mm socket to get out the next two bolts. They're bigger. They are, where are they? Right here. See it? And there's one up above. There's one right here. Get you guys set back up. Let's see if we can get these bad boys out. These ones are a bit tighter. These ones take a bit of force. That's why that little sledge comes in. Now, you shouldn't pound on a ratchet, but if you don't really care like me, then you do it anyway. That's where having a breaker bar comes in play. You got a breaker bar, you can get in there, makes your job a lot easier. If you got a ratchet that you don't care about banging on, well, by all means, take your sledge and pound the crap out of it. Like I did. And these bolts are probably 1.5 inches, close to 2 inch overall. Take those out, put them in a safe place. Move to the top one. Just be careful of your brake line up here. You don't want to go whacking that thing too hard. So we got to be more careful up here because this brake line, if you guys can see, comes right up in the way of the ratchet a little bit. So just be careful pounding on it. You don't want to bend it or break it or anything like that. See what I'm talking about right here? The brake line's pretty close, so you don't want to go hitting it. So everything here is undone. The only thing is I goofed up. What we should have done first was remove the caliper before I just removed those big bolts. I got ahead of myself, really excited about doing a video, you know? So let's pop the caliper off though and just separate it. So you guys can see where I'm putting the pry bar. We're prying this caliper off. Okay, we're gonna do the same below and pry it out. I'm gonna put you guys back to where you were because I need 2 hands to do this. That, and I don't want this to fall and stretch out that brake line. So because I undid those other bolts, this piece came right off. If you leave those other bolts in, the 2 big ones, this will stay on for you instead of falling into your hands. So I should have just left it on, but it is what it is. Now, due to that automatic parking brake system and I don't trust stuff, I'm gonna stick a block of wood in the caliper here and wrap it with a small bungee cord, well, in a minute here, to hold it in place. After some finagling with the bungee cord, got this thing up and out of my way. I don't care what it looks like. I don't. The 2x4 is there in case the caliper decides to engage. It won't fully extend. It'll stop on the 2x4 and not go all the way out, the pistons. So just doing that as a safety precaution because everything is electronic. The battery's still hooked up, so I guess it could do whatever it wanted whenever it wants to do it. All right, so we got this piece off. We want to check these tabs where the bolts went into. See how well they are working. I don't pull them all the way out and make this rubber piece unpop. Just listen. You can hear if the grease is in there. Good. It's still greasy in there. I can feel it. The seals on these aren't ripped or broke, so I know there shouldn't be any extra debris in there. So I'm not going to mess with them any further. These brake pads. The inside pad compared to the outside pad, there's a big difference, right? Pretty shot. So we're done with those. Now we gotta see about getting this rotor off. Be nice if it would just come off, but never seems to work that way. Give it a couple whacks. Sometimes you gotta hit it from the back side. I'm not powerhousing it. Came off pretty easy. Here's the back side of that rotor. It's shot. See all the pitting and stuff? So these are only 2 years old. I'm assuming they're original equipment. I mean, my truck rotors, my truck's a lot older than this. It's an 08 and I've only done this job once on that. So, and that was just a couple years ago. So those are shot. Next thing we need to do is get our new rotor out, spray it down with brake cleaner, which I'm gonna go do in my oil bucket so I'm not getting it all over the ground here. And then we'll come back and start putting this thing back together. I got my new rotor all sprayed down with brake parts cleaner. So to get the grease off, when they come in a plastic package. Pull it off and you should just spray them down because usually there's a bunch of grease on there and oil to keep them from getting surface rust. So, oh yeah, and around, I think it's the hub here, I just hit with the wire brush real quick just to clean it up. So there, your rotor's up there, it's on where it should be. The next thing I like to do is take this part, whatever the heck it's called, and just brush off inside here where the brakes line up. Usually it's pretty filthy. You should also get yourself a little bit of brake lubricant, but I like to put a little bit of grease in these slots. There's slots right here. I put a little bit of grease in there, and hopefully it'll help cut down on the squeaking. I like to think it does. So, but what I want to do first though is put this back in place. I want to put a little bit of that nickel anti-seize on here. So I'm going to take these bolts,
Put a little bit on the end. You can hit them with a wire brush if you want. These are pretty clean. I'm not too worried about it. Let's see about putting this in place. Sometimes starting with the bottom's a little easier because you can see where it is better. I have a hard time seeing where that top one is at times. If you guys want to know your torque setting, then look it up. Feels pretty tight. Grab my torque wrench. Now I have this set at 100 pounds, which is probably way more than needed. Again, I don't know. I didn't look it up. So top. So our bolts up here are pretty tight. Now what we need to do is push the pistons back in on the caliper. We're going to take the block out, the bungee cord off. In order to do that, we're going to need this tool right here that I showed you guys in the beginning, and you're going to need one of your old brake pads, okay? We're going to take our brake pad, our old one, and put it in like that. We're going to take this cool tool and spin it out so it'll fit in there. Alright, so you guys see it's tightened up. Now you just take your time. Go nice and slow. You want those seals and those pistons to be going back in as well. And I want both sides to go. So I take my time and let it sit. Give it a twist or two, let it sit. It'll slowly work its way back in. Nice and easy. So they're in there pretty good, probably all the way, right? Nothing's popped, no seals are going bad, thank goodness, because that'd be a pain in the butt. Let's take this off, take that pad out, and let's put this caliper, well, I can't put the caliper in place. You gotta put the brake pads on. I'm getting ahead of myself here, sorry. Any contact point is where I end up putting this stuff. Can be kind of messy, but I get in here and I just put a little bit where the brake pad's gonna slide. Not a ton, because I don't really want it to get on the rotor. So it's just a little, not like gonna glob it and leave it. Kind of put it on and smear it. That makes sense. These tabs. So it would have been way easier if I just greased them before I put them in, but you know, I'm trying to hurry up and get this done. I got stuff to do today after this brake job. So actually I got a carving to do. And then you get to work on putting these in. Again, I'm using just a little bit of grease. Let's pop this in place. Boom. There we go. Got our pads in there. Here's a contact point, a little grease, contact point. Let's put some grease, right? Contact point, grease, and I do right here a little bit on each one. We have everything greased up and ready to go back on. What I want to do next is take the two bolts that are going to hold that caliper on and put my never sees on there. So they're ready to go. Let's flip this down in place. Make sure you do not pinch that rubber hose at all. You might have to push these little tabs in, the ones that they kind of seem spring-loaded. Now, are there special terms for a bunch of this stuff? Yup. Am I a professional mechanic? Nope. Is the guy that's going to do this in his driveway a professional mechanic and care what everything is called? Nope. If so, go to a mechanic's page. I'm sure he'll tell you. Let's put this other one in down here. The other nice thing about these videos is in case I forget how to do something, I can come back and look at it myself, but normally after I do it once, I got it down. Put these in finger tight, and we'll get out that 13mm socket and tighten them up.
It's way more comfortable than kneeling, you know, until like a jack stand or your jack gives out, your car lands on you, so, you know, be conscious about your safety. If it looks like I did something that wasn't safe, well, don't do that then, right?
Did look up was for the lugs, and everything I saw was 100 foot-pounds. This is an old school torque wrench. This has been kicking around for quite a while. I think my grandfather had it, then my dad got it, I got it. So I'll go to about 100. See, it's just this knob. I'll go to about 100, maybe a little bit over. Again, feel free to look up torque specs so you guys can, you know, have everything good. All right, tires on. Next thing we want to do is move my phone so I don't set the car down on it. Pull our jack stand out and lower it down. Well, I gotta wash my hands quick, and then we'll get back in the car. If I get in there with hands like this, my wife's gonna kill me. So don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. All right guys, I'm back. So the blocks are in the tires still. We're gonna get in the car, shut the door, do not push any pedals, hit the accessory button, hit it so it goes to run. I'm gonna come up here to the screen. Oh, that's doing that, but look over here. Okay, we've got, it's a P. Parking brake thing is flashing, okay, so that means it's on. This also says parking brake retract. Let's try pressing the parking brake switch. Press brake pedal to activate. So I'm holding the parking brake and pushing the brake pedal in at the same time. Release the brake, release the parking brake. Park brake, well, as you guys, hopefully you guys read it before I could read it. So that's that. We're on to the radio. Turn that off. I like giving the brake a couple pumps just to make sure everything feels good. It feels good. I'm gonna go remove the blocks. We'll zip around the block, come back, make sure everything works, and should be good. Hopefully this video will help you out with your next front brake job on your 2018 Chrysler Pacifica. If you're not sure which size rotors are gonna fit your Pacifica, there's a couple different sizes, so make sure to go to AutoZone. You can punch in the VIN number of your vehicle, and it'll tell you your exact make, and then they'll match up the rotors you'll need and the brake pads. So be sure to do that, or the store itself can probably do it for you, but I just looked mine up on my own. Anyway, hopefully this video helped you guys out. Hope I got every little detail in there. I'm sure I probably missed something or wasn't professional enough for some of you. That's all right. You know what? Thanks for watching. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe if you guys haven't already, and check out some of these other videos popping up. Thanks for watching.